It's just shooting this out.
Hey, what's up guys? Michael from Karate Breakdown, trying to bring out practical karate. So let's talk about how to throw a basic karate punch today. Throwing the punch out and the pulling hand as well, what your body needs to do to increase some torque, what your feet or your stance needs to do as well. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, so you always want to think the hand that's punching out should go straight to the target. If you were in chambered like a fighting stance, that means like I'm throwing a jab in a straight line here and it goes straight. But if you're gonna chamber traditionally like a karate traditional punch, you don't wanna have any deviation on that, so it'll go here to here in a straight line, right? There should be no flaring out of my elbow like this, or I shouldn't be hooking this punch at all. It's going here to here in a straight line. So the most common thing I always tell people, keep your forearm dragging against your gi for as long as possible. You wanna audibly hear that for an audible cue. To keep your forearm tight to your body. If you hear it come out like this, and then the sound disappears, it means your elbow disconnected from your rib cage, and there's a little deviation off that straight line, right? Palm facing up, and then it goes straight and twist to palm face down here. Doesn't really matter where you chamber, that's up to your school and your style. I chamber probably like above my belt, below, right around my floating rib area. Not super high like a Kung Fu school, not super low like a Japanese school, right? So I'm like right here. This feels comfortable to me, also to my body type as well. So without my hips or anything like that, this goes straight out. Another easy cue to memorize is like, imagine you're catching something out of the air that's flying across here, right? So if I had something like a ball that I threw up, I'm trying my best to just catch it and snatch it out of the air, right? So what that does is you can't have any deviation off of this line as you try to catch it, because you're gonna miss the ball that's going to cross or falling down, right? So that's an easy drill for you to try. So now let's just add our hip to it. Still not using our stances yet. I always think about my hip is kind of like the explosion or the engine that pushes my hand forward. So what that means is you're not really trying to reach with something with your arm like that. You're trying to thrust your hand forward with the power of your hips. So my hip actually pushes my hand forward. Eventually the timing between the two movements gets shorter and shorter until it looks like it's one movement. But ideally you want to get to the point where your hips is actually pushing your hand forward. So this is another great drill. So looking forward here, if my belt's facing forward, I'm going to tilt my belt this way, and that's going to pull my hand forward. Even to the point where you could imagine like somebody throwing a ball, they cock their arm back before they throw their hand forward. The same thing can happen with their hips too. I can cock my hip back before I throw my hands forward. So that's another way to add a little more hip movement to your punch. So now if you add a little bit of speed to that, you're going here. It really is just shooting this out. And then another tip here, the faster you pull it back, the faster it goes out too. You want to think about a punch has 3 movements. You have chamber, out, back, right? Or a kick has 4 movements, up, out, back, down. If you want to think that's 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, a lot of people think about trying to get to 2 quickly, 1 to 2. But if you think about 1, 2, 3, if I want to get to number 3 fast, I'm just going to blast through 2, right? So I'm thinking instead of 1, 2, 3 or fast, fast, slow, I'm trying to go slow, fast back, right? So I'm trying to snatch it back this way. We're gonna put the same side leg that we're punching with back, and that's gonna add a little drive from the ground up. This increases the drive of your hips by pushing off the ground. So you think my knees are apart here and I'm facing this way, even though my punch is going that way, I need to push off the ground so my knee pushes and faces towards the direction that I'm gonna punch, right? So if you think, take away my hands from this equation, I'm gonna go from my leg and try to push my belt forward, here, and back, and back. Now you think you had the engine on your hips, now you're adding even more fuel from your legs. That's gonna thrust this hand forward, like this, and back.
back. Here's another tip. You could explode off of the ground by adding a spring with that base leg, and that really pushes his hip forward. Imagine like a gymnast that runs and tumbles, right? When they tumble, every time their feet springs against the ground, it's an opportunity for them to start launching themselves into the air. You could do the exact same thing with your feet here, just as an exercise. I could stomp, and that's gonna allow me to push my hip forward, right? Here. So now let's add the pulling hand. You wanna think of your shoulders as rocking forward and back as you throw a punch. So if I'm facing you straight this way, I extend out, my shoulder goes this way. Look, my body kind of angles to the 45 as I punch. So that means you're not just punching with the side of the hand that you're punching with, you're also having some force backwards with the other arm, right? So if I had this side back and I throw a punch with my left, this one really has to pull back to accentuate my shoulder pointing back away from the target. One, that's going to launch this hand out faster, and two, it practices the motion of pulling on something like your opponent and stuff like that. So on this side, I'm really trying my best to pull this tight in a straight line and lock my elbow as far back as possible. Imagine like you're throwing an elbow at somebody behind you, right? That's like day one karate. So I'm here, and I'm really trying to accentuate this, going back and forth. Now, if you add everything together, you have the stomp, you have the hip, you have the fist, the shoulder goes forward, this shoulder, opposite shoulder goes back, your knee goes from this side, points to this side. It should all combine together to a really nice, sharp punch. Hope that makes sense, and that's karate punching 101. One little tidbit here at the end, that concept can be integrated into every single technique in karate. You wanna think about a high block, same thing, I can stomp into that high block here. You wanna think about a round block or something, or a down block, or even throwing a knee, right? Everything has this fast twitch potential as long as you can translate those motions into different angles. And that's where all the hard work and everything and all the workshop and all the late nights by yourself, that's where it comes in, all this workshopping, adding more twists, adding more torque. That's where the path towards mastery happens. So have fun, hope that was cool. Catch you on the next one, train hard, fight easy.